The story kicks off with a wealthy woman named Bobby who had lent $100 million to a man named Salazar. Now Salazar is flatly refusing to repay the debt. To get the money back, Bobby sends a mediator named Brexton. Salazar agrees to terms and hands over property documents worth $100 million. On the drive back, Brexton stops the car and sends his driver and bodyguard outside so he can phone Bobby privately and share the good news. She's stunned. She asks how much, and he tells her the full debt plus interest came through. She says that's impossible, but he explains he secured the leverage, got the agreement signed, and has all the paperwork in hand. Then, almost immediately, the other side calls to say Bobby is owed nothing, and as far as they're concerned, it's over. Meanwhile, outside the car, a side conversation about a 5% cut gets brushed off. Brexton wraps things up by noting that the best part of this kind of work is that when you win, you really win the ground beneath your feet. But it turns out the driver had been feeding Salazar information the whole time, confirming it was a setup from the start. Shortly after, an advocate named Sophia arrives to meet Bobby. Sophia has a reputation for handling all varieties of legal and not-so-legal problems on behalf of wealthy clients. She tells Bobby she wants a 20% share of whatever she recovers, and that Bobby only pays if the full debt comes back. Bobby pushes back on the percentage, and they eventually shake hands on 10. Sophia then brings in her two most trusted operatives, John and Bronco, men who are known for pulling off the kind of jobs most people would say can't be done. The next morning, Sophia sits down with Salazar's manager, William. When she asks who he is, he tells her it doesn't matter. She lays out what she wants, his cooperation in recovering Bobby's money from Salazar. At the same time, Bronco quietly slips a microphone inside an expensive decorative piece sitting in William's office. William, however, refuses to play ball. He warns her not to wade into water she can't swim in. Sophia hands him her card, tells him he can call any time, and wishes him a good day before walking out. Once she's gone, Sophia maps out a plan to bleed Salazar financially until he folds. First, she sends John to Saudi Arabia, where one of Salazar's hotels is under construction. Government records list the project at 1,300 square meters, but the actual build covers 1,500, a clear violation. John flags this to a government official, and the authorities immediately shut construction down. Then John bribes a port official, telling him all he needs is one thumbs up and Salazar will be on the hook. It works. One of Salazar's steel cargo ships gets sealed at port, piling on even more losses. 20,000 tons of steel are stuck in limbo, leaving 2,000 construction workers with nothing to do but sit in the sun collecting full pay. Salazar is burning money in Saudi Arabia, so the team decides it's time to hit his Spanish island operation next. Bronco and Baker head to Salazar's island, bribe a senior engineer on his oil rig, and install a specially designed fuse inside one of the machines. The fault is nearly undetectable and could go unnoticed for months. From that point on, Salazar starts hemorrhaging nearly $3 million every week. When Salazar asks William who could possibly be orchestrating all of this, William tells him it's a woman with an extremely capable team behind her. He goes further, warning Salazar that if she stays in the picture, her army of lawyers will cause even greater destruction. William pushes Salazar to pay Sophia $100 million and put the whole thing to rest. Salazar refuses outright. The money Sophia knows about has already done everything it can do, while the bulk of his fortune sits hidden under someone named Wolfgang's control, unknown to anyone outside that circle. Then a major reveal happens. Back when Bronco first visited William's office, he had planted that bug inside William's Lawyer of the Week award. Through that device, the team learned exactly who Wolfgang is. William had essentially handed them the name himself. They dig further and uncover an executive connected to Wolfgang named Adam, a man who invests the black money of wealthy clients from around the world. Sophia sends John to find him and get into a dice game at his venue. John wins repeatedly, but refuses to pocket any of his winnings. One of Adam's employees notices and reports it to him, and Adam decides to face John directly at the table. Right on cue, John loses, but he doesn't have enough cash to cover what he owes. So instead, he sends Adam a gift, a statue. Adam accepts it. The moment that statue comes within 10 meters of Adam's computer, Sophia's hackers gain full access to everything stored on his system. As Sophia puts it, now that she's inside Wolfgang's world, it's time to start peeling back the layers. Armed with that information, Sophia files a court case against Salazar and lays out evidence covering all of his shell companies. The court responds by seizing his assets, his private jet, his yacht, everything attached to his name. Salazar calls in to say he's standing outside his own jet and it no longer belongs to him. His people try to calm him down, calling it a technical issue, but he can't fly. The aircraft has been impounded under international law. Then his boat gets hit next, seized under maritime law. He can't believe it. William reaches out to Sophia and invites her to Salazar's island to negotiate. Before Sophia even touches down, Bronco and John arrive on the island with the full team. A contact named Javier has come through with everything on their shopping list. 2 canoes, 3 KTM 450s, 2 Polaris razors running 190 horsepower, plus a full kit including knives, noisemakers, blinding devices, an AR with a 203 grenade launcher, and more. The team scouts all the exit routes across the island and drills getting from the meeting location to the nearest escape points in the shortest time possible. They dig traps and set them up at key positions around the island. Meanwhile, they hack into the local police station's camera system and sneak into Salazar's hotel to install microphones in the meeting area. Cameras go dark just long enough to get the devices in place. They also plant engine killers on police vehicles to make sure those cars can't be used against them in a crisis. Once everything is in position, Sofia flies in. The following morning, she walks into Salazar's hotel with John and Bronco for the meeting. She introduces herself to Salazar as Rachel Wilde. His attorney announces that Salazar's client is prepared to significantly increase his previous offer. $350 million is now on the table. Sofia turns it down without flinching. He raises it to $400 million. She rejects that too. Salazar looks her in the eye and tells her that if she wants the money, she should take it now and go, because there's nothing left she can do to hurt him. Sofia walks away from the table and immediately instructs her hackers to dig even deeper into Salazar's financial web. On her way back, Sofia stops at a restaurant for a beer. The team quietly fans out and secures the perimeter while Bronco takes a seat at her table. 2 men walk in shortly after. Bronco reads their body language in an instant. Something is very wrong. And a fight breaks out. Lobby and kitchen clear out fast. The team pushes to the rear. The escalator is clear, and the extraction kicks off. Word comes through that 2 men are following on a scooter. Sofia is told to get in the vehicle and stay down. She's confirmed secure, and they regroup at the villa. 14 of Salazar's men are killed during the attack. Shaken by what just happened, Salazar orders Adam to move all of his money and secret files to a new location. Sofia's hackers intercept the transfer and get everything. The data goes straight to Sofia's legal team, who immediately use it to shut down the rest of Salazar's major companies one by one. Courts across the board deny his objections and grant every motion. Salazar is now teetering on the edge of total financial collapse. Desperate, he tells William to contact Sofia again and get her back to the hotel. He makes it clear he means now. Sofia takes her time. The next day, she arrives with John and Bronco. Salazar puts $800 million on the table. Rather than accept, Sofia humiliates him. She tells him she'll hand the remaining evidence directly to the government. Then she gets up and walks out. The moment she leaves, Salazar tells William to push the offer to $1 billion. Meanwhile, Sofia is on the phone with Bobby, letting him know the job is finished and that the next call he gets will be about the money. 3 months later, Sofia is on vacation in the desert when a car appears in the distance. She calls for one of her servants and gets no answer. She goes to check and finds the servant has been murdered. She rushes back to where she was sitting, and the young woman who had been with her has also been killed. One of Salazar's men climbs out of the approaching car. Sofia immediately hits the emergency button on her watch, sending an alert to John and Bronco. Cut to Bobby's office, where she's on the treadmill when John and Bronco show up and ask what she plans to do about getting Sofia back. Bobby starts deflecting, and in doing so accidentally lets it slip that she still hasn't paid Sofia the $100 million she was promised. Bronco tells her to settle the debt and walks out. On the island, Sofia is locked in a prison cell. She's brought in front of Salazar and tells him straight. Holding her changes nothing, because Bobby never even paid her the $100 million she was owed. Salazar tells her that if that's really true, he'll cut her apart and mail the pieces to Bobby himself. The next day, John and Bronco land on the island with the team. One of Bronco's men who had stayed behind reactivates every trap they placed during their last visit. The team moves into position around the police station. John and Bronco change into police uniforms and walk in like they belong there. Once inside, they draw their weapons and order all the officers to put their hands up. Everything is quiet outside. No movement up front. Then a car pulls up. With the officers under control, Sofia is freed from her cell and falls in with the team. But when they reach the front of the station, a fresh wave of officers is coming through the door. John and Bronco tell them to put their hands up. They refuse. Within seconds, the station explodes into a gunfight. They can't get out the front. They go for the back door instead. Moving fast, the team gets out and heads for the airfield. Word filters back to Salazar that they broke Sofia out and are making a run for it. He roars that he'll get her back. They're inbound. Everyone stays in position. Enemy SUVs are closing in. They go, push hard, pile out, get to the bikes. A flanking threat from the west comes in and gets handled. Someone uses a phrase mid-chaos about being caught in a tight spot. Baker gets a call to hold fire and wait until the pursuing vehicles roll deep into the trap. 3, 2, 1. Bronco takes a hit, but they confirm he's okay, and they'll regroup at the villa. Salazar's right-hand man reports in and tells him not to worry. There are only 7 of them, and they have 70 men. Then he pushes forward in the helicopter. Sofia reaches the safe house with the team. John immediately sets everyone to their positions. Bronco takes a sniper rifle and sets up at a window while a teammate launches a drone to track the surrounding area. John covers the front with his rifle. The drone picks up an approaching vehicle. The team uses a preset trap to blow the tires and stop it cold. 2 more vehicles roll in from the front. Baker detonates charges that were already planted and wipes them out. Now the enemy knows exactly where they are, and a full-scale firefight breaks out. Bronco tells Baker to open the tunnel, their escape route. The plan is to pull back one by one through the tunnel while others keep firing to cover the retreat. The pressure builds. Someone is sweating it. The order comes to get Sofia out of there. Bronco says he'll catch up. He stays behind to handle the trigger controls so the others can get clear. Baker refuses to leave without him. 2 minutes, Bronco tells him. He'll be there. Baker is urged to stop messing around, and the clock ticks down. Bronco gets told again, 2 minutes are up, it's time to go. He says he's on his way. He's ordered to confirm he's right behind them. He doesn't confirm. The order comes hard. Get out, that's a direct order. Sofia is told to just get off the island, and then Baker is killed in the battle. The rest of the team moves through the escape tunnel toward the extraction point. A UTV is waiting, and the 3 of them climb in and race for the coast while 2 teammates are already at the shoreline. A helicopter tries to cut them off, so John steers the vehicle inside an old abandoned building that has a small window facing the open air. Bronco sets up in front of that window with a rocket launcher, waits for the helicopter to line up, and the moment it appears, he fires and destroys it. The whole group reaches their boat on the shore. Bronco and John then tell the others to take off. They're staying behind. The scene shifts to Salazar's hotel room. John and Bronco walk in disguised as maintenance workers. Bronco injects Salazar with a sedative, and he goes limp. They load him onto a stretcher, take him out, wrap him completely in plastic, and seal him inside a cargo container. The container is opened at a port in the United States, and as police officers close in and call out his name, Salazar has the nerve to look up and say he has no idea who Mr. Salazar is. He's Mr. Smith, as far as anyone's concerned. Back at Bobby's office, Sofia walks through the door, and Bobby nearly falls over, seeing her alive. Sofia doesn't waste time. She tells Bobby to get her money to her, and she wants it soon. That's where the movie ends. If you enjoyed this recap, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss more breakdowns like this one.